y'all, and welcome to another Aloha Friday episode with Tyler Devereaux. That's me. Jackson Simmons Campbell. That's that good-looking young man over there.
Excited to be here, man. It's actually Friday, too.
It's actually Friday. Usually we record these on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
So it's the stars have aligned for us to be able to record an Aloha Friday on an Aloha Friday. It's a good day, dude. It's a good day to be here. Yes.
What are we talking about today, homie?
Dude, today I wanted to talk to you about, communication with high-level individuals, higher-level individuals. Like, how do you communicate with them? How do you prepare to meet with them? And, like, what are some action steps or some things that we could maybe learn from that process with you that we could apply when dealing with or talking to higher individuals in our standards, right? And, like, how we are, or those people that we consider higher level achievers or higher people. So maybe let's dive in there first. Let's highlight that if you can, or if you don't mind.
I can do anything, bro.
What higher level achiever? What does that even mean?
Okay, that's like so. What I was going to ask you, because like when I look at it, there's different levels throughout, right? Like people, I would say that my definition. You tell me if this is the direction you want to go, but my definition would be somebody that is a lot of times has something that you want, or is a connection that you want to make, is somebody who is maybe, like if you look at a job level, maybe they are at a higher position than you. If you're in a social level, maybe they're at a higher position than you. If you're, dude, maybe it's in anything. Like, right, I go to church and I talk to the leader of the congregation. He is in a higher level position than me, right? So it's like, my definition would be anybody that is at a higher level than you currently are at, and you're trying to build that relationship. Is that where you're trying to take it?
Yes, it's exactly where I'm trying to take it, man. Because like higher level people for you are different than higher level people for me, right? Like when I'm working towards talking to higher level individuals, it's people like yourself, right? It's people like you. When you're talking to higher level individuals, it's like you're talking with billionaires, right? You're talking with like Ed Milet, and you're talking with Grant Cardone. So but that same process I feel like could be duplicated for somebody. You know what I mean? Just depending on that person that you're talking to. But
you know what, man? The system applies, because what you just mentioned was like professional level, like in a professional realm. But I believe the same, in my opinion, same systems apply regardless. Like whether, once again, church, community, work, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I just believe the same systems apply. And it has been, I actually love that we're going down this topic, because I think sometimes we get in our own head.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And I know that we get in our own head because I see people interact, I see people engage, and then, I'll engage with them. Or I'll hear afterwards somebody, or I'll be talking to somebody. Like, dude, I'll be doing an event or something, right? And I'll be talking to somebody, and at mid-conversation, they'll be like, oh, my gosh, I'm just terrified right now. I'm so sorry that I feel, I know that I probably mumbling and sound crazy, but it's like, and I'm like, I didn't think any of that until you just said that,
Yeah.
And I'm the same way, like you mentioned Ed Milet, you mentioned, Andy, or all these people, right?
Yeah.
And in the moment, it's like, okay, I don't want to sound like an absolute douche right now.
Right.
I want them to know that I'm a normal human being.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to make a connection there.
Yes.
And by being awkward and uncomfortable is going to make a connection a lot harder. It's going to make a connection a lot harder. So you want to do things to prepare so you're not awkward and uncomfortable in those types of situations. So Ty, what is that? So real quick, before we move on from higher level, like preparing to talk with higher level people, is it safe to say that a higher level individual is essentially, or almost always, when you're preparing to talk to them, it's because, this might not sound right, but it's because you want something from that interaction. You want to get something from them, whether that's a connection, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a bit of information. You're ultimately going to conversate with this individual to get something from them. So is that safe to say that a higher level individual is somebody that you want something from?
Yeah, but I think that's where people miss it.
Okay.
Right? Because a lot of times people think that they're going to go into this communication, they're going to have, it's like their one shot. At least this is how I feel when I talk to people. It's like it's almost like they feel like this is their one shot ever to have this conversation, so they're going to milk every freaking last second of it. And so what are they doing? They're just asking, dude. And that, I'll just tell you like that, it's exhausting.
Right.
To every single, like all the time, feeling like people are just trying to ask, take. And listen, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to be in a position to provide and give and help, but it is exhausting to always feel like that. So now I look at somebody like at an Ed Milet's level or an Andy's level, just, you know, these other people that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the DMs they get on social. I can't imagine, you know, once they do get on a phone call with somebody, I just can't imagine, right? Like, so here's my perspective. I would tell you the same thing. I would switch places with them. Like how I prepare, bro, is same way that I talk about like any like sales, or because sales is high level communication, right?
Yeah.
So if sales is high level communication, then let's look at this with high level communication with higher level people. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to switch places. Like, and you said, I think you mentioned like, do I do research about those people? I certainly do some research about those people because I want them to know that I know who they are, but I also don't want to be like a fan.
Right.
I'm not a fan. Like, and don't get me wrong, I've been in the position probably more times that I've just been like, it's like I'm a fan than it is like, hey man, I want to be your buddy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, sure, I respect everything that you do, but it's like, you're a human being. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not looking to let's backtrack it. Okay?
Dude, there's huge actionables right there. Go ahead, backtrack it.
Which is just switch places for a second.
Yeah.
Like literally just switch places for a second. See it from their perspective. Think about the things that I just talked about. Think about all the people that are asking them for shit all the time. Mm-hmm. And then don't be that person. Also going in with this is, what's your ultimate goal? Is your ultimate goal to just milk one conversation, or are you trying to build a relationship? If it's to milk one conversation, hey, make it happen.
Yeah.
But if you're really trying to build a relationship, then, you know, do the things that you do to build a relationship, which is understand it from their point of view, show interest, be respectful, and try to provide value there.
Yeah, dude, so good. So many actionables right there. I asked that question because I was hoping that would be your response, is that you have to go into those situations and look at it from their perspective.
Yeah.
Like how was that situation or that conversation or that connection gonna benefit them? You know what I mean? How is it gonna benefit them? It's not gonna benefit them by asking them a million questions.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it depends.
It could. I mean, I guess
Can
it
I
could.
give you an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I actually love, because what I don't want to do, I'm not just going to go in and do you know what is crazy? People want to milk this situation, or they want to build a relationship. And so somebody who wants to build a relationship, for an example, they're just going to start telling me all about themselves. They're going to talk about them, and I'm going to listen because I love people. Yeah. And I like to hear about people.
Yeah, yeah.
But in my mind, it's a funny thing, because in my mind, when this is going on, I'm like, man, should I interject and be like, hey, do you have some questions? Do you want me to help you with something? Because I know that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
for the most part. But in the same thing, do you know what I do? I'm like, well, shit, maybe I can learn from this person.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna listen.
Yeah.
And I would say that a lot of times I walk out of that situation with more quality than maybe they did. And it's not because I wasn't willing to provide quality. It was because I didn't say 2 fucking words. You talked the whole time. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I really am. And listen, sometimes that is the value. Sometimes that's the value that I can provide to somebody, is to show that I'm interested, and I'm genuinely interested. Like I really do. I love people, and people are just fascinated to me. So I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
So like I'm all about it. But my advice going into it asking questions is a great thing, but it's asking questions with showing interest. See, what happens is most people will ask questions. Most people will ask questions in regards to trying to figure out what they want me to do for them. It's not that they want me to help them help themselves. It's that they just want me to help them. So they're coming, and it's almost like a lot of times I feel, okay, that through this conversation, they're just trying to add shit to my to-do list. And I'm just going to keep trying to redirect it back to them. Like, I want to help people who want to help themselves.
Right.
Dude.
Yep.
By the way, that's your maybe the biggest actionable that you can take from maybe this whole episode. I don't know. We still have some stuff to go, so we'll see. But understand that higher level people are there because they love to serve and help. But it doesn't mean that they just do shit for you. That's called entitlement. That's called them making you entitled.
Or enabling you even.
Enabling. That's
it's
a better word.
It's enabling you to that, yeah.
They don't want to do that.
No.
Because that's not how they got to where they're at.
Yeah.
They want to empower you, not enable you, right? And they empower you. They empower you by helping you help themselves. And nothing, bro, I'm just telling you, nothing makes me more excited than helping people help themselves. I love it. I love it. So,
because you love people. That's an amazing quality about you. It's just a little side note there. So really, when you're going to meet these high level people, dude, one of these actionables and one of these thoughts that you just pulled out of me was, you really have to. Oh geez, it just slipped my mind.
I got something. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. So you had mentioned something along the lines of confidence, I think, and so it got my mind thinking in this realm, which is because you want to be confident when you go on that call, right? Or
meet them in person, or whatever it is. Yeah.
You just want to be confident.
Yeah.
So how do you become more confident? Now I talk about switching places, thinking about who this person is, thinking about how you can provide some value, thinking about how you can just make this a pleasant conversation. But also, you also have to just look internally for a second and build yourself up a little bit. I remember, getting home from, I served a 2-year church mission, where you don't date for 2 years. And holy shit, bro, when I got back, I was ready to date.
Yeah.
So
you're probably pretty rusty at it, though.
Super rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, I am who I am, so I mean, I still got swagger for fucking days, but but you think about it, I've been gone for 2 years, man. I'm awkward as shit. Do you remember the show? I think this is where it's on, the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I do.
And they talk about don't put the P on a pedestal.
Yeah. That's that movie.
Yes. P is
well. You figure it out. You can figure it out. We don't have to explain that one.
Then you're not high level.
Could mean two things.
But don't put her on a pedestal. Don't put people on a pedestal. Don't do it. Like they're human beings. Mm-hmm. Whoever you're talking to.
That's what I was going to pull out.
They're human beings. They don't want to feel uppity and like you. Nothing makes me feel more uncomfortable than when I'm talking to somebody, and it's been a huge eye opener for me because I've really never been in this position until all of a sudden you're in that position where all of a sudden you're talking to somebody and it's like they have put you on this pedestal and you're like, oh my God, I feel
get me off
I'm
here.
just a normal freaking person.
Yeah, get me off.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you know how many times I've done that to other people? A lot. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is somebody that I've read your book or I've seen you on podcast or I've seen a bit, whatever it is. And all of a sudden now I get this chance to like, dude, it's easy to do that, but don't do it. Because listen, wealth, when you feel desperate, wealth, it repels wealth. It repels success. It's repelling. It's like the salesperson who needs the sale, you can.
You know it.
Yeah, and they never get it because you can feel it. It's like it's almost like it's literally repelling. It's like, wait a minute, I want to buy this, but why are they so anxious to sell it to me?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm a little bit what?
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But on the flip side, where wealth goes, where success goes, where high level relationship go is abundance. It's like when you don't need it, and I know you need it. We all need it. But when you can just remove yourself and put yourself in an abundant mindset of just reminding yourself, hey, I want to build a relationship, but if they don't want to build a relationship, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm
okay with that.
Right.
Like, but I know who I am. I'm this. This is your affirmations, right? Mm-hmm. Your affirmations. This is probably the biggest thing that I do to prepare going into any of those situations is reminding myself of who I am.
Yeah.
And
so big.
That I'm fucking cool, dude.
And the value
I'm a cool person.
And the value that you can bring.
Yeah.
Reminding yourself of those things too.
Yep.
Right? So
it's hard to remind yourself of that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest struggle. I don't think the biggest struggle that people have is seeing it from their perspective. I don't think the biggest struggle people have is recognizing that they're bitching. You listening to this, you're bitching. You're awesome. People should want to build a relationship with you. They want to talk to you. But if you don't think that they will, if you don't think that they should, if you're not quite sure, are you valuable? If you're not quite, then man, they're not going to feel it. Right? People will treat you how you expect to be treated. And so, man, just know, breathe, set it aside, and just remind yourself that you are who you are, and you're a badass motherfucker.
Yeah, and have some faith and confidence in yourself in that situation too, that if it's meant to be, then it's going to be.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to have this high level connection with this individual, then the time's right, the time's now, and it's going to happen the way that it's supposed to happen.
Yep.
And that if it doesn't, the time's just not now.
That's it. It's
not that you're a failure or that you didn't get what you were trying to get out of the situation. If anything, you learned how to maybe approach it the next time.
Totally.
But yeah, I love that.
Okay, now can I drop an example? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you for one, actually.
There's a guy named Tim Olson. Tim, I'm sure you're listening to this because you're a stud and you're a beast. And let me tell you, Tim's part of our mentorship program. So let's put this into perspective, okay? We have a bunch of people in our mentorship program, and these people have paid good money to be in our mentorship program. So what happens, okay, is when people pay good money for something, what happens?
There's a lot of things that happen. What are you looking for here? There is a sense of entitlement that comes with that?
Yep. And listen, you paid good money for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from, well, honestly, mentors is just cool. Understand that like most people are going to do the minimum. They're going to do but you want them to go above and beyond. And how do you do that? You remove your expectation and still see them as a human being. See, once again, people hit me up in my DMs all the time, right? Asking. And it's like, dude, it's like, and I try to get into as many of those as I possibly can. Because once again, I love people and I'm grateful that I have something that I can help with. Like, I haven't always been that person. So understand, like, I'm grateful for that. But it's also, it's not very memorable, right? You don't make yourself very memorable. Okay, so Tim Olson, part of our mentorship program. He has been connecting me with anybody and everybody that he thinks may be a fit for me and for them. He is a connector. So he's connected me with, I don't know if Nico's here. He's connected me with Nico. Is she right here? God, my mind is just space. Who's all the people that Tim Olson has connected me with? Do you remember off the top of your head? John Gordon. Jesse Itzler.
One more.
It's the one that I'm going to do the.
David Metzler.
David Metzler, who then connects me with Gary V. He's connected me with all these people.
It's massive.
Just connected, and he's connected me with.
Best introductions too.
Dude, man, there's another guy that he's connected me with too. My mind just spaced. Anyway, he's just continued to connect.
Thank you, Nico.
Connect. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Nico. She's my brains. Connecting me to the point where I'm like, holy shit, man. I literally just sent him a message of like, bro, thank you. Like,
it's massive.
This is awesome. Like, what can I do for you? Like, what can I do for you? So think about it. He's been putting in value, providing value. And then I'm asking him like, bro, what can I do for you? And he's like, I'm good, man. I just love connecting people, man. I'm sure the time will come. And it'll, the fit will be the right fit when the fit. That is somebody who's not desperate. That is somebody who thinks abundant. And that is somebody who I will bend over backwards for, not because they've just done things for me and I expect people to do things for me, but it's because of somebody that I feel an obligation to do something for him, but in the flip, he wants to provide back here because he's grateful for the knowledge that he's getting through the program, the knowledge that, dude, that's what you do. Right?
It's so good. Dude, I want to highlight his answer.
Okay.
So when you asked him, what can I do for you? What was his answer?
Man, I just love connecting people, and I love providing value anywhere that I can. It lights me up, and the time will come. I'm sure the time will come when it's right, something like that.
And, dude, there's a huge actionable there. There's a huge actionable in there that he said, I love connecting people. I love connecting people and putting people together, and the time will come, sure.
Yeah.
But what makes it so special about it too, that I feel is like a maybe a missed aspect to it, is that he's doing what he loves to do.
Yeah, that's good.
And
bro.
that's why it's happening for him, and that's why he's been able to make these amazing connections, is because he's found a way that he can make an impact on these higher level individuals, and he's letting those things happen and flow like they're supposed to. Yeah. Right, dude? So I think it's an important thing there, like as we're trying to connect with these high level individuals, figure out what it is that you're good at.
Yeah.
Figure it out what it is that you're good at and how you can use that skill that you're good at to benefit the high level person that you're trying to connect with.
Hey, and also I love that, bro. That is so good. Like it is. Like what drives you? Do you enjoy doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And why do you really want to connect with that person, right? The other thing that I'll spin off of it is be patient with it. What I mean by that is maybe they'll like somebody will send me a message, okay, and I'll read it. I will feel so much gratitude for the message they've sent. I'm thinking like this person's awesome, but then I forget to reply because I get a phone call right in the middle of it, or God, I don't, for whatever reason, dude. Yeah. I struggle with it sometimes. It's important to me, but I have to set up systems I just struggle. You know that. Right now on my phone I probably have, let's just check, have 147 text messages. Holy shit, 147 text messages. That's a lot. I don't even know how many emails, and who knows how much on IG.
Your emails are probably caught up because you have Nico.
Yeah, Nico's a beast. She helps me sort through those. But then, on different social media platforms. So, dude, it's so easy for me or a lot of people to miss it. So don't be afraid to follow back up with it. Don't be afraid to send another. Here's what will happen. Somebody will send me. I remember Yannick and Marichel. Well, Yannick had sent me this message. He's also part of our program. He's part of our mentorship program. He's a partner on a deal out in Orlando. And he had sent me a very nice message, dude, after peak. Like super, super, super nice message. I didn't see it. So I had opened it, but I didn't see it. So I didn't see it at all. Or maybe I hadn't even opened it. Maybe it got buried in my text. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But he sent another message about something else. And then I saw his other reply. And anybody who knows me will know that this is not this is a very common occurrence where they'll send me another message and I'll be like, holy shit, I missed your other one, right? Because all of a sudden now it's the top of inbox. Mm-hmm. And so, it was just, I was like, man, so just be patient. Understand that maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't have time to reply, but it doesn't have any reflection on you.
No.
It doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It doesn't mean that they don't value you. It doesn't mean that they don't want to talk to you. It doesn't mean that all that means is that maybe they just didn't see it. Maybe, dude, but who cares? Your job is to build a relationship. Your goal is to build a relationship. It's not to just get credit for whatever it is. It's not to get recognition. Just know that the time will come. Like people who do that, man, they'll know who you are. And your whole thing is you want them to know who you are.
It's so
That's
good.
the key.
It's so good. There's so many actionables here and so many golden nuggets in this episode on how to really connect with these higher level individuals. Ty, as we're wrapping up here, we've talked about a lot of how-tos and what you should do when connecting with high level individuals. Maybe with these last couple of minutes, you can tell us what not to do.
Yeah, have another contact who I riff
or a question that we shouldn't ask. I think you know where I'm leading you on that one. Maybe not.
I don't know. But so maybe you lead me into it a little bit better so I can remember.
No, but okay, so what are some of those things that we don't do when
Nico can attest to this too. People will relentlessly. There's people who will send one and then feel like I just don't care. And then there's the complete opposite version of that where they were just, dude, they're hitting up everyone on my team. Everyone on my team. Tyler. Then they go to them. Then they go to here. They're like, oh my gosh, dude, that's desperation. Don't do that. Figure out what's the best way to connect. Hey, would this be a fit? If what you're trying to talk about is not a fit, then don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. It ain't a fit. Right. That's okay.
It's only going to cause you more issues.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
And I promise you, they'll start to avoid you. Yeah. So first thing into my head, because that's the first thing that comes to my head. Just bring it right out and tell me.
No, dude, a question that you get all the time that we've talked about this multiple times. And
how can I provide value?
Oh man, that question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
that's adding to my to-do list?
Well, real quick, you're jumping right to it so fast, but it's one of those things that I just want to highlight and really shine the light on really quick. When you're connecting with high-level individuals, the question to not ask them is, how can I provide value to you? That's the question you should never ask. Because like you think about how everybody is living their life, everybody is figuring out new ways to add value. That's what everybody's trying to do to grow. It's how do I become a better person so I can add more value into the world? How do I become better at my position so I can add more value to my company? Right? So for you to ask somebody, how can I add value to you, is essentially asking them to do all of the hard internal personal work that you should be doing on yourself.
That's it.
To figure out how the hell it is that you add value in this world.
Yep.
Like I that might have come off a little bit strong, but dude, that's the word. It's honestly the worst question you could ever ask anybody is how can I add value to you?
It's just, it's like it literally adds to my to-do list.
Yeah.
I just got this message so shout out first off to Francisco Santos. He's also in our mentorship program, absolute stud. And we ask for feedback all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And I screenshotted his feedback and sent it to him. And I was like, this right here, bro, this is golden. Absolutely such a great call out. And we will make this a focus. And he said, so we always ask, like, what could we improve on to help you lead you to greater success? And he said, helping others understand the true meaning of value. A lot of the times, this is being thrown around and no value is being given. Just building up and getting to know someone and their likes and their goals, that's building value. We have a lot of individuals just preaching and asking, how can I show you value? Which is a major turnoff. This last part is what I want to talk about, though. We are here to build a network. However, the splinter of building value has caused many to lose focus. This is the part. The splinter of building value has caused many to lose focus of building themselves and building a force that can't be destroyed due to self-awareness.
That's so good.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So we're gonna wrap everything up with this. And Francisco, I'm serious, bro. That was, and because I screenshot it and literally sent it to you. It was like, bro, you nailed it. Being self-aware is step one to building relationships with anybody, but especially higher level individuals, is being self-aware. Just self-aware of really social awareness and self-awareness. Right?
Yeah. Dude, it's so good. That is such a huge takeaway. That if really you have that self-awareness, that consciousness of how you're acting and how you're being perceived. If you can learn that and do that and really understand the value that it is that you do add and how it can benefit others and how you present that, it is the best way to communicate with these high level people, dude.
Totally.
Oh man, it's so good, bro. It's anything else, Ty, that you want to wrap up with here as we talk, as we kind of come to the conclusion of this topic?
I'll give you one more pointer, okay? Understand what people value, and I'll give you an example, but understand what people value, and then it's such an easy way to give it to them. For example, okay? When we feel desperate, we want to milk every second of it. Okay, so I'll give you an example of this. One of the things that I value the most is time, and it's because, well, I understand the value of time, first off, and man, it's limited, and I'm very, my schedule, and you know this, is back to 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 back. Okay.
Busy.
So when I get on a call with somebody, and this is your actionable, I want everybody to take this actionable, because I'm telling you, man, this is the kind of stuff that when I get off these kind of calls, I'm like, wow, that person gets it. And then I know that person, right? Because that person isn't just worried about them. I see them care about what's important to me. Okay. Getting on the call, and let's say this call is a 30-minute call. They know we have 30 minutes. Well, what will most people do? Not only will they maximize all 30 minutes, they will also see if they can take it longer than 30 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you know that I value time, and this is just me as an example, you need to flip it to, once again, flip the focus and switch places to see what this other person values. But if you know that that's something, that's the case, right? And how could you know that kind of stuff? I promise you right now that if you call to schedule an appointment with me and you talk to Nico will tell you exactly what I value. Mm-hmm. She'll tell you exactly where my pain points are. She'll tell you exactly what type of calls are frustrating. She'll tell you, because dude, that's like, she's there to help amplify everything that we do within the profession, and she's amazing at amplifying my life. She is. But she'll have those conversations, and you can gain that information. But I get on this phone call, And we have 30 minutes. And at the 15-minute mark, so we dive right into it, dude. Right into it. There's no, like, just right into it. And I'm loving it because they're not asking me to do things for them. They're really just asking me to help them help themselves. And that lights me up. And to the point where, honestly, I probably would have went longer because that kind of stuff lights me up.
Yeah.
But at the 15-minute mark, they say, okay, I know we had 30 minutes scheduled, but man, I know that your calendar, this is somebody within our organization, by the way, so they can see my calendar. And they said, I saw your calendar, and I can see your calendar is back to back to back to back to back today. So, man, I want to give you a breather. I don't know why it was making me emotional all of a sudden, dude, because it was like, it was such a kind thing. It was kind.
Yeah.
And it was like, I want to give you a little bit of a breather. So thank you so much. I'll end it here. Take this 15 minutes to do whatever you do with an extra 15 minutes, man.
It's massive.
That person, come on, man.
They get it. They're self-conscious. They're aware of
why it makes me like literally it makes me a little bit emotional, but it's because, God, dude.
Because this is it makes you. I believe it makes you a little bit emotional, Ty, in these times, is because that's what brings the personal aspect to everything that we do. Is just being conscious of everybody's time, energy allocation, mood. Being conscious of all those things and knowing that all those things play a part in the great big thing that we're all working on together too. It's because that's where that's where the real relationship shit comes into, right? Is caring for you and caring for the individual's mental capacity, physical capacity, spiritual capacity, whatever it is, and being conscious of that. Yep. And knowing that you play a part in that. If you're having a conversation with them, that you play a part in that capacity, whether it be mental, physical, spiritual, whatever it is.
You nailed that, bro. It's like where I want to end it. It's where I want to end it because what you nailed it. What you nailed was that you see them as a person.
Mm-hmm.
See, so many people, if these higher up people, if you will, and when I say higher up, once again, it's just like somebody that is, higher than what you're at, and so a lot of people are trying to take.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't necessarily even see you as a person. They see you as an opportunity, or they see you as a tool, or they see you as somebody that can do something for them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's even why you led into the damn episode this way, because understand that gets exhausting. And it's also like exhausting. Like just Google the word and it gets exhausting, dude. And it also makes people, I see it from a different perspective now where I understand how people could get bitter. I understand how people could get shut off and reserved because in the back of your mind, you're like, my God, am I being taken advantage of all the time? Are people just trying to use me? Like literally that's what it's, and that's such a slippery slope because now from my perspective, I'm telling you, that's a perspective of lack and scarcity. And I never want to be there. So I have to challenge it and buck it all the time. But all of a sudden when somebody sees me as a person and they care about me as a person, they care about me as a person more than they care about this result that they're trying to get. I mean, God, dude, it's like, that is rare in today's world, it's just rare in today's world. So that's it.
It's such it's obviously very, very impactful, right? Just one thing that I want to add here as we wrap up, and then we'll go into the Hawaiian value, is you said something that sparked this in my mind. That was, you said a lot of times people will talk to these high level individuals as they're trying to get something from them, or they look like an opportunity. I think a lot of times, a lot of people look at people like UT and like these higher level people who have achieved a lot of things as almost like a product of the result of hard work and hard decisions and making and taking risks and taking advantage of opportunities. They almost look at these individuals as a result of all this hard work, and people think, oh, if I do all the same exact hard work that Tyler does, that I'm going to be in the same position that Tyler's in. When in reality, bro, you know that the decisions that you made when the decisions came up in your life were the right decisions to get you where you were, but that decision might not be aligned with somebody else's decision and where they're trying to get. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times I think people are looking at these high level individuals on, how do I make this decision? Do I do multifamily or do I do single family?
Yeah.
I'm going to do single family because Ty did single family and I want to be like Ty. Instead of thinking that type of A, B, black, white, think of why did Tyler choose multifamily? why did Tyler choose multifamily instead of single family? And try to learn how those decisions are made rather than making the same decisions that they've made to get them to where they're at. Because that's not going to get you there. That's not going to get you there, right? So quit worrying about, I'm going to ask them A, B, C, and D, because if I get answers to these things, then I'll know kind of what I need to do to be like them or get to where they're going to be. When in reality, dude, you could make the exact same decisions that they've made on those 4 things, and you get the exact opposite results because they're not in line with who you are, what your goals are, what value you bring to the situation, and where the goal's trying to go, right?
So good, bro.
It's a thing that I've learned recently, dude. It's a thing that I've learned recently that it's not, you don't make the same exact decisions. You try to emulate the decision-making process.
Yes, key.
Right? Yeah.
Pause, rewind, repeat it again, re-listen again. Because once again, sometimes we're asking these people of what decision should I make?
Right.
When in reality, it's how do you make these decisions? How do you go about making these big decisions? Like, what's that process look like?
Yep.
I love it, bro.
Yeah,
love it.
Because then from that you can use those things in your own way when making decisions, right?
And not just for one situation or circumstance, but for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's not just 1 or 2 decisions that got you where you are.
No, shit.
It's hundreds of decisions you make every single day.
Yep. Yeah, it's not even, there's some big decisions that happen, but dude, most of them are micro decisions. And you know what the biggest decision was, though? To just work on myself. Because when you work on yourself, you're aware. When you work on yourself, you're confident. When you work on yourself, you're aware and you're confident, and you'll be able to connect with anybody on the freaking planet. One more shout out.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the Kentucky Derby. I'm with Kyle Hendrickson. Now, if you're ever on island, Kyle and Tatum Hendrickson. Now, if you're ever on island on Maui or Kauai, they own the best shave ice spot, which is Peace Love Shave Ice. Okay.
Across the street from the Cove, South Kihei Road. If you're not there, where are you?
It's so good.
Yeah, best shave ice.
Tell them we sent you. And Kyle, we go to the Kentucky Derby. And Kyle, what I noticed about Kyle, what I already knew about Kyle is one of the most confident people that I've ever met. What I realized about myself, I guess is what I should more say, I believe that some of my confidence comes from maybe how I dress. I know how I dress, how I look, what my profession is. Like a lot of my confidence is rooted in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for better or worse, maybe for worse, but it's just it's a reality, being self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle's confidence is rooted in Kyle. It's rooted in who he is. That dude can walk into any room, talking to any person in any situation, and connect with them because he is who he is, and he doesn't have to justify anything about it. Mm-hmm. And he inspires me. And I learn from him a ton, dude, because he's just that dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're at Kentucky Derby in Millionaire Row, surrounded around a lot of friggin' people.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I feel a little bit intimidated sometimes, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, the table we're sitting at, the CFO of iHeartRadio, the whole thing, he's pretty, but honestly, like he seemed poor compared to the next guy, because the next guy was a developer in Manhattan that builds skyrise. This guy is just in normal conversations showing me, oh yeah, I got a house here and I got a house there. Not trying to brag. It's just like, oh yeah, I got a house here and I got a house there. Oh yeah, I got a house there too. I'm like, this dude
Crazy.
doesn't joke. He's no joke, dude.
Yeah.
And they're betting huge on the horses.
Right.
Lost a shitload. Not even a blip on the radar. But dude, those people, I would like to say that they liked me too, but they loved Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know why? Because Kyle's confidence is rooted in Kyle. So my advice, your takeaway, your actionable, work on you, man. Work on you.
Figure out who you are. Figure out who you are, those values, and that value that you add to whatever situation that you're in. So good, brother. So good.
So can I share a Hawaiian value?
Would love that.
Which is ahanui.
Okay.
Ahanui. Do you remember what this one is?
I'm trying to remember. I know what. I know.
It's so it's the long breath, or it's be patient.
That's
is the value.
Thank you, dude. I knew it was. I knew there was breath in there.
Yeah. So aho means to breathe, and then nui means big, great, long. So the value is to be patient. Ahanui is a great or long breath. Okay. So sometimes, like when we go free diving, as an example in the ocean, you have to take a big, long breath. You dive down, right? And then you come back up, you take another breath, right?
Breath, yeah.
Now, when you're up on surface, do you ever worry as you take a breath? Do you ever hold it longer, worrying or wondering if there's going to be another breath to follow? No, because you have an abundant mindset to know that there's another breath to follow, right? So understand, ahanui, be patient. Being patient is a form of abundance. It's a form of abundance, man. Be patient when you're building and fostering these relationships. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. And before you go into your conversations, sometimes it's very, very good to just take a big, long breath and remember that you are a badass motherfucker who this person is going to be excited and grateful to connect with. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever doubt that. Ever. Just be patient with yourself along the process.
So good, bro.
Anything else?
I have nothing to add to that.
Hey,
I think
then,
that was awesome, man.
Make sure that you know that you are already high level and that no matter what level you are at, there's people that are at a different level, and you'll only get there by continuing to remind yourself that you are high level and worthy of new levels. Remember that always, and always live with aloha. Peace.